Welcome back to the Red Wings Report with Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura, the stuttering guitarist. Just a couple of quick updates on an off day. So it looks like John Gibson is going to get the net against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And are you going to go back to Gibson tomorrow?
Gibby's going to play tomorrow.
With a guy that has a proven long track record like him, it makes it less troublesome when he has one bad outing or a couple bad outings.
Yeah, and again, he didn't have a bad outing. We had a bad outing. He just happens to wear different equipment than everybody else.
Gibson's going to get the net against Tampa. I guess it's kind of a pick your poison because Edmonton's next. So if you're going to have to warm them up in one game, if you haven't watched Edmonton much, the power play is just deadly. When I'm more surprised when it doesn't score. It's just they've got so many weapons on the ice. It's so quick. If Detroit ends up getting hemmed in, Edmonton could just be nasty. And Tampa's always going to be a difficult game, but Gibson will get the net. Talbot will finally get a rest, and then I'd expect Talbot to get the net against Edmonton, but we'll see because Gibson does need to get some reps in. So moving past that, it just came out a little while ago on ProHockeyRumors.com. I'll have a screenshot there. It says that the Detroit Red Wings are shopping defensemen. Earlier, and what brought several of you to the channel, in the summer, late summer, when Steve Yzerman signed Travis Hamonic, I did a video and called it Why Stevie Why. And it wasn't necessarily anything against Hamonic, but it was Detroit just stockpiling all these 5, 6, 7, 8 defensemen. Basically defensemen that were third pairing or first healthy scratch. What I think was going on is there just wasn't enough knowledge about Sandin-Pellikka to know if he would grab a spot on the team. Right up until he got the place, there were some of you still kind of divided on it, that maybe ASP would get some reps in Grand Rapids and be called up. Well, Sandin-Pellikka made the team. And Jacob Bernard-Docker, to his credit, seems to have grabbed the third pairing right side. So for the first time, certainly in Yzerman's tenure, the right side seems actually settled a bit with Seider, ASP, and JBD. The minutes, Seider's getting still way too many minutes. He played 28 one night. He's averaging over 25. Sandin-Pellikka, to his credit, he's averaging over 20. He played just shy of 20 against Florida, but he's been in the 20s pretty much all along. And Jacob Bernard-Docker, right around the 12-minute mark for a lot of his games. So the right side seems solidified, and obviously, if that's the case, Hamonic's not going to get any reps. There's no reason to switch him out with JBD at this point. You're certainly not looking to put him in where Sandin-Pellikka's at if he's holding down 20 minutes a night. And to ASP's credit, again, the coach talked about really seeing him now play in 11 games, including the 7 preseason game.
Well, you remember he played 7 exhibition games, I think. We didn't, well, we knew of Axe, of course, but we didn't really know Axe as a player. And during those 7 games, he just kept elevating his play to the point where we trusted him here, trust him there, trust him here. And, he's now at 11 games into a season. That's a pretty good load for him already in a month. And during those 11, the appreciation factor for him has gone up night after night after night. Coaching staff, teammates, so we feel comfortable, and that's just basically how it's evolved.
Each game has seen Sandin-Pellikka get more comfortable. If you've seen him play, he's blocking shots. The PK is clicking much better. Of course, a lot of that is on Talbot right now. But Sandin-Pellikka is getting time in every situation. So he's not just on the team, he's really locked down that second pairing spot, getting almost double the minutes of Jacob Bernard-Docker. And that says a lot about a 20-year-old coming in his first season in North America. So when an article like this comes out and it quotes Dave from the fourth period, it says that the Red Wings are attempting to resolve their surplus of defensemen through the trade market. And he specifically mentions Gustafsson, Hamonic, and Hall. So obviously Gustafsson and Hall, they're in Grand Rapids. You're getting just over $1 million in cap relief with them being there. At their full cap hit, these three defensemen, you're looking at $3.4 million for Hall, $2 million for Gustafsson, and $1 million even for Hamonic. So about $6.5 million in cap gone if they trade them. The Wings don't need the space, and I don't know that there's a trade partner for all three of those guys. With two of them available in the AHL, there are people who say that will increase their trade value. So I don't know that for sure. But if a team believes they're going to have a long year with injury and they can get an NHL available defenseman that you can stick in the AHL, that may help to move those guys. I don't know if you want to eat much salary, but regardless, all three are rumored to be on the move. And I look back at the Why Stevie Why video I did on Hamonic, and it has panned out. There were way too many 5, 6, 7, 8 defensemen on this team. And to Sandin-Pellikka's credit, he grabbed a job. To Jacob Bernard-Docker's credit, he's grabbed a job. And I'm sure Hamonic is not thrilled with being a healthy scratch. So it looks like all three are being shopped. I don't know how many are going to be moved. But let me know what you think. One interesting trade bit that had been brought up last summer was that the Pittsburgh Penguins had been interested in Jonathan Berggren. He's not getting used. He's got 1 game out of 4. And it really feels like the coaches just aren't using him. Either they don't trust him. I don't know what the deal is. So if Pittsburgh is still interested in Jonathan Berggren, there was rumors that a package had been put together for Karlsson to send Berggren and some draft picks and other pieces to get Karlsson. I don't know that they'd go that route and grab, a $10 million defenseman to throw on here. But if Pittsburgh is still interested in Berggren, there's some history with Hall, with Dubas. I don't know if he'd grab him or not, but you can start to see some of the trade scenarios come together in this. But the biggest takeaway in all of this is a great positive. The young players have grabbed spots on this team and put Yzerman in a position where he's willing to move the veterans that a lot of us weren't happy with their performances. So let me know what you think. We're heading into the 5th game, 5 more games, and you're burning a year of the ELC. I don't see any sign that Finney, Brandsegg-Nygard, or ASP are going to be heading to Grand Rapids at this point, especially ASP when he's getting second line minutes, 20 minutes a night. I would assume if he was having trouble in his game, they'd roll back his minutes and move him to the third line. And he's a far cry from that. So to me, you're burning a year on ASP, you're burning a year on Finney, and MBN. They like his game, even though ASP and MBN haven't hit the scorecard yet. They like their game. They like what they're doing. And you hope that comes for them soon. But Finney, he's fitting in with Larkin. That means even if he's falling off, there are so many places you can insert Finney into the lineup and so many other people that are behind him in the pecking order, presumably. But I want to know your thoughts. Is this good news that the organization is willing to say the kids are grabbing these jobs? We need to move this out. Do you hope Yzerman would take a swing at Karlsson? I mean, that rumor's been out there forever. Maybe with the team having a better start, Karlsson would warm up to the idea of Detroit with some sort of idea that he could be moved at the trade deadline. I don't know. That would be very tricky with his salary and his situation. But anyway, do you want them just to move the pieces out, grab your bag of pucks, your your late round picks? Or do you want to see them actually swing and try to get, what I'd like to see is a top 6 left side defenseman, but that would cost you. You're going to have to move something of value to get that. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you everyone who's tuned in. Head over to Hockey Hot Stove for the latest post, and I'll have the post game from Tampa Bay after tomorrow's game.